So why did you return to Vietnam?
For holiday.
For holiday?
My friend have wedding.
Your friend had a wedding?
Yeah.
Alarm bells ring for Officer Natalie as the man now tells her that someone else has put items in his bag.
This? Is it yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
What's not yours? The food?
Yeah, it was
Who put this in there?
my friend.
Your friend. Do you know what's in here? In the rest?
No,
Did your friend pack this and then you put your clothes on top?
no, my friend.
Your friend put your clothes in the
Yeah.
suitcase as well?
Yeah.
Why?
Before I go to Sydney, I drink a lot of and I'm
You
drunk. Drink a
drink a
lot.
lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So you were too drunk
yeah.
to pack your suitcase, so your friend packed it for
Yeah.
you?
The man is responsible for the contents of his luggage regardless of who packed it. And experienced officers suspect he's got something to hide.
What is this?
It's cake.
Cake?
Yeah.
Who are you giving the cake to? For you or for somebody else?
Just for somebody else.
Who is that somebody else?
My friend. His relative. When I come here, his relative called me.
So his relative's going to call you to pick up the cakes.
Yeah.
So he has your number, but you don't have his?
Yeah.
The rest is all food for your friend's relative.
Yeah. Okay.
The passenger's story doesn't add up, and officers now believe he's not telling them the truth.
This gentleman is petrified of being caught with something in his bag that he's not allowed to carry.
With serious concerns that there is something hidden inside the cakes, Border Force call in a drug detector dog. If he smells drugs, the dog will sit.
Good boy. Good boy.
You saw the dog sit when he came near your bag? It means it's a positive reaction to what's in your bag, to narcotics, to drugs. Do you understand?
What do you mean the dog sits?
When the dog sits,
Yeah.
it's a positive reaction. It means that he smelt drugs in your bag.
Mail shop.
Pardon?
Mail shop. Yeah. Mail shop.
Drugs.
Shop. What's mail shop?
Drugs, narcotics. You don't know what drugs are?
His story doesn't convince officers as he denies any knowledge of drugs and continues to claim that someone else packed his personal bag.
Do you know what's inside the bag?
No, no.
You don't know.
Officers now continue the search and try to locate whatever it is that he's trying to hide.
Who are these for?
My friend.
Your friend? Another friend?
Yeah.
The rest is all food?
Yeah, all food.
Okay.
Except
So what is this?
tea.
Tea?
Yeah.
Vietnamese tea and an unusual amount of Vietnamese mooncakes are packed in the suitcase. Mooncakes are a traditional pastry eaten during the harvest celebration. Normally, the filling appears dark in colour, but what's now found inside these cakes is white and appears suspicious to officers.
There's something in it. I think they're loaded.
I believe the cakes that you're carrying have narcotics in them. We're going to do some further testing to make sure. But because I believe that, I'm going to caution you. You don't have to say or do anything. But anything you do or say may be used as evidence. Do you understand that?
Don't do and don't say here.
Yeah, you don't have to. Okay?
A drug swab is now run over the mooncakes. This test will indicate if officers' suspicions are justified.
I have every reason to suspect this gentleman is carrying drugs in these food items. It's not cake, it's drugs.
Officers will now step up their investigation.
We're going to go into an interview room. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, okay? I'll get you to grab your things now.
The man is taken to a private interview room and officers conduct secondary tests to confirm the swab results.
Okay, so we've got a green result, which means it's a positive to pseudoephedrine.
The concealed drugs will now be packaged up for evidence, and the passenger is arrested by the Australian Border Force Investigations team.
To me, it looks like a powdery substance in the base of the bag, and coming from Colombia, there's a fair chance it's going to be coke.
The passenger's story about where the bag came from raises suspicions even further.
The passenger also stated that he picked the bag up in Colombia when his other bag fell apart.
The case will now be closely inspected, while back at the bench, the passenger has an unusual request.
Your wife? Okay. He wants to contact his wife.
He won't be making calls anytime soon. Suspecting they may be dealing with a drug courier, the man is escorted to a private room. But then, officers receive some concerning information.
Yeah, what's going on? Any associated trouble?
It appears the passenger may not have been travelling alone, and his companion has already gone through the gates.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Hablas español, no es cierto? Sí, español. Bienvenida, ¿cómo estás?
Both passengers have travelled from Colombia. They have the same surname, and their travel movements are almost identical. Officers will now carry out a full bag search to determine if this woman also has a concealment in her luggage.
3 children. 3 children? And why did they not travel with you on your holiday?
No holiday, because my mom very sick in this moment.
Okay.
So
And was that sudden, or have you known for a long time?
not just for the disease, for a long time.
Yeah.
Just I visited my mom for 1 month.
Do you want to put these back in your wallet?
While the female passenger is questioned, inside the interview room, a swab is taken from the lining of the male passenger's suitcase. The test will reveal if there are any traces of illicit substances. But the results of a swab test taken from the lining were unexpected.
We've iron scanned the bag, it's come back negative. Hopefully it's just because it's been cleaned down really well and there's no contamination anywhere. So we're going to take the drill into the room now. We're going to make a little hole and see what the substance is, see whether it is actually something prohibited or not.
Once inside the room, officers drill through the lining and into the base of the suitcase. They locate a substance and extract a sample and immediately take it to the examination room for testing.
As you can see there, it's like a very thick sort of wet paste.
Narcotics are usually in a powder form, but officers are confident that this well-concealed paste is an illicit substance.
It was in the very bottom of the bag, sealed in plastic.
First offender laser technology should give a highly accurate reading of what the substance is.
All right, see if it comes up.
And while the test is conducted, outside the woman's suitcase is x-rayed to check for any possible concealments.
That appears to be clear.
It's good news for the female passenger, but the male passenger may not be so lucky.
It's come up positive for cocaine hydrochloride.
With this confirmation, Officer Daniel takes the next step.
Now I've contacted the Australian Federal Police and they'll come and have a chat to the traveller and take over the investigation.
But the investigation into the female passenger is not over yet.
No, just leave these out. Yeah.
The pasty white substance found in the man's suitcase is highly unusual, and Officer Nestor notices this woman has a bottle of liquid that appears to be very similar.
The concealment, it wasn't a powder, the cocaine, it was like a gel, liquidy paste substance. So when we found some bottles, we just had to assess them a bit further, make sure the substance inside wasn't a risk at all.
The liquid in the bottles is tested, and after a thorough investigation into the female passenger, Border Force officers are satisfied she is not carrying any narcotics.
Yeah, the bottles were fine. Yeah, the passenger was free to go.
The Australian Federal Police arrive and the woman is free to leave. Officers are now sure she is not connected to the male passenger.
It was just a couple of coincidences with the travel companion, same surname, same check-in port, and really close timing together. But since then we've cleared her and spoken to her family here, so she doesn't seem to be a risk.
The male passenger's suitcase containing the cocaine is seized and he is taken into custody by the Australian Federal Police.
Just take a look at this one coming up now, Josh.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
A large parcel from China, listed as containing marker pens, has attracted their attention.
You can see the pens, but they're quite dark in the middle.
Looks like an anomaly along here. It doesn't look consistent the way a marker pen would look. In a pen, it should be consistent because it's just filled with ink, right? But you can see that it's a bit cracked there. So it's like it's got something else in there that's sort of shifted while the parcel's been moved around.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have that line.
You can see it's in a few of them as well.
Officers will now have the box opened by Australia Post so they can check if anything illegal is hidden inside the pens.
Yeah, that's highly suspicious. It definitely looks like a concealment.
Okay, there's definitely pens there. They look commercially packed and sealed from the outside. No glue present. They look normal. I think maybe we should take a couple of these out and x-ray them on the small x-ray.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd maybe take one of each colour.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Officers now x-ray the selected pens for a detailed look at their contents.
See what it shows when we x-ray them individually.
It could be ink, but I think the cracking here suggests that it's probably not, and also the inconsistencies with the fills.
You can also see a green tinge through it, and although ink may have a green tinge when it's commercially done, definitely that's the indications of a chemical substance.
I'd suggest that whatever's in this one is also in this one and this one.
Yeah.
It appears to be a sophisticated concealment, so the markers will now be deconstructed to reveal what is hidden inside.
I think perhaps I might be able to screw off the top.
Yeah, okay.
That could be perhaps how they do it. Yep, there you go, it's screwing off. We've just got some tools to try and pop the top off of it. There we go, pops off, and inside, there we go. Yeah, we can see a white substance.
Looks like crystals, maybe fine crystals.
Yeah, I'll tip a bit out and we can test that with nick test and that'll confirm it. There we go.
If the nick test is positive for an illicit substance, then it will change colour.
And we should see a really nice blue colour come up at the end of this. It'll be indicative of methamphetamine. And there we go, straight away, really dark blue. So that's a really good indicator.
Yeah, it looks like methamphetamine to me.
Yeah.
The marker pens are weighed to confirm how much of the deadly methamphetamine ice has been intercepted.
So it looks like 10 to 15 grams per marker.
Looks like quite a sizable concealment.
The parcel will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police.
Today we're at White Bay Cruise Ship Terminal in Sydney. We're just clearing passengers that have recently arrived off a cruise ship. I have a British national passenger here. She appears to be a regular traveller, however we just want to ensure that she is here for legitimate reasons. So whereabouts are you from? Birmingham. Oh, okay.
One of the first things to do is to establish if she is a legitimate tourist. And Officer Rachel is curious why she doesn't appear to have been very active while on the cruise, apart from a few island day trips.
So you really didn't do much on board?
Islands were the best. The islands were the most exhausting ones. It took like 2 days to recover.
Oh, really?
Because I got that bad sunburn.
Yeah.
I felt my skin stinging.
It also seems unusual why she has kept such a meticulous log of her expenses.
Oh, okay, so you write down your expenses?
Definitely. It's on credit card.
Yeah. Oh, so you paid for your trip via credit
I
card?
got credit card, I got bank card, and my statement gets sent out home.
Yeah.
Because it was my savings, some of my savings.
Oh, okay, right. So how often do you travel?
First time.
First time in
22 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you haven't travelled anywhere else ever?
Her bag contains items that would mostly be associated with travelling.
Have in mind?
But one object could be a bit out of place.
What's in that tube?
Lava lamp.
Okay.
Pick you up in Villa.
In Villa? So you picked it up in Villa on one of your day trips?
Because you had one on display, and as we were driving past, I saw it as I walked back now.
Yep. So you're a fan of the lava lamps?
Not really. Both my sister's modern lamp in the UK when she was moving.
Okay.
She's always asking me when you're going to replace my bloody lamp. I never have a time.
No, well that's, I've got to say, I'm quite surprised that you'd buy it and carry it with you.
I would not have done it if I come to Sydney. I would not have bought one. I was here 9 days.
Yeah.
And she's always telling me to buy my lamp for me.
Such a large lava lamp seems a bit of an unusual thing to buy on a holiday. And her explanation that she bought it to replace one she broke that belonged to her sister seems a bit far-fetched.
It's not the usual item that you'd see in someone's contents of their bags. How much did you pay for that?
About 100. So it's not really that big, is it?
It's not big, but it's
well,
heavy.
I didn't take it out of the tube.
It's quite heavy though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of extra weight that you're carrying.
But what makes this even more suspicious is the brown content inside, which doesn't seem consistent with the clear or bright coloured liquids that are usually found in this type of lamp.
We do find it a little unusual, so we're going to conduct a few tests on the lava lamp to ensure that it is actually just a lava lamp and not anything more.
Customs and Border Protection is well aware that drug syndicates have developed a technique to suspend narcotics in liquid form. So the lamp is taken away for testing. This will establish if this is just a cheap souvenir or something that will put this young girl in jail for a very long time.
So right now we are actually getting the lava lamp tested to make sure that there is actually nothing concealed within the bottle. And we will also conduct a frisk search on her to ensure that she doesn't have anything on her body.
Problems with that?
No
problems with that whatsoever?
whatever.
Okay, so they won't be touching any of your skin or anything else like that. It's just a quick frisk of the adder. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
very good.
A mobile testing unit is stationed at the passenger terminal, and officers decide to conduct 3 different tests. One will electronically smell a swab to detect trace elements. Another will analyse a sample with laser technology. And the third will mix acids with a sample of the liquid to give a blue colour if it is a narcotic. And all 3 tests are positive.
So it's highly likely that the lava lamp contains cocaine.
It also means this young woman's life has just taken a dramatic turn for the worse.
My name's Nicole Bennett from Australian Federal Police. You're under arrest today for the importation of drugs into Australia. Do you understand that?
No.
No? I have to caution you before you say anything. You do not have to do or say anything. Anything you do say or do may be used in evidence. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, can you repeat that back to me?
Yep.
I need you to understand what I've just said to you. So can you tell me what you think is going on?
You alright?
Are you shocked?
Yeah. But do you understand what the officers told you?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Turn around. I'm going
Just
to put
got
your
a
hands behind your
handcuff.
back. We're going to handcuff you. Are you okay? Seem like you're in a bit of shock.
The lamp is carefully repacked and will be taken for further testing to confirm it is cocaine and also its purity. But for the woman, the dire situation seems to be dawning on her and the consequences of her actions. It is unlikely that she is the kingpin of this importation, more likely a drug mule. However, that doesn't change the fact that she has knowingly brought a prohibited narcotic into the country. This Canadian has been directed by officers to join the queue for a bag search and further questioning. But strangely, he attempts to dodge the line and leave before an officer notices what he is trying to do.
That's right, keep coming down this way.
At the moment, we've got a guy who's just arrived into the airport, and he's come from Canada. He's a Canadian. He's come through Shanghai, I believe. At the moment, Lauren's taking him to the bench and is going to start going through his baggage and seeing if she can find anything that's prohibited.
So you have nothing to declare? So all of these answers are all no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are these your bags? All of these yours? And did you pack them?
Yes, I packed that one, yes.
You packed which one? That's all right, you can just leave them there. Did you pack all of these?
No, I didn't pack this one.
You haven't packed the purple one?
No.
Okay. So is everything in there belong to you?
Yes.
So who packed this one? That's all right, I don't need you to hold it up. I just need to... Who packed this one for you?
A friend of mine did.
Okay, so everything in there belongs to you?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
It's always suspicious when anyone claims that someone else has packed their bag. Officer Lauren decides to question him to see if his travel plans are legitimate.
No worries. Have you been to Australia before?
Never.
No? Do you know anyone here in Australia?
No, I'm just here on holidays.
Yeah?
Just by myself to enjoy it.
Very good.
I came down, it was for my birthday originally, for holidays.
Came down for your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah? Very good. So what made you choose Australia?
Why not?
Yeah?
Just the beauty of it.
So what have you got planned to do while you're here?
Relax.
Yeah? Any plans to do anything, say anything?
Maybe do some sightseeing. I've
Yeah.
never been down here, so...
So what do you want to see while you're here? What do you know about Australia that you want to do here?
Don't know really much about Australia. I just heard so much about it. I like to, see art galleries, possibly.
Yeah?
The man seems to be very nervous, and his extremely vague answers have not helped to allay suspicions.
What do you do for work?
I'm a truck driver.
And have you got family back in Canada?
Yes, my spouse.
Okay, so how come your spouse didn't come with you?
She had to work.
All right. Just get you to pop their bag up here for me, please. Thank you. Okay, could you open this one for me,
I
please?
actually don't know the combination. I can't remember it.
It's very unusual to not know the combination of the bag that he claims his friend packed.
So is this your bag?
Yeah, the bag's mine, yes.
Okay, but your friend packed it for you?
Yes.
Okay. Why did your friend pack it for you?
Because I asked him to.
Okay. So what do you know about Australia that made you choose here?
The beauty of it.
Yeah, anything in particular?
Just the overall beauty. Just, I've seen it on TV and...
Yeah? So what do you want to see?
I love art.
You love art?
I love art.
So where will you go and see art?
Wherever there's an art gallery, we'll enjoy it.
All right, I'll just get you to open that for me.
Oh, I grew up around art galleries.
Ah, right. Have you booked your hotel?
Yes.
Yeah? Whereabouts are you staying?
Carlton.
How many nights are you staying there for?
So far, one night.
Okay.
But it's up to just if I decide to stay at Carlton,
Right.
I was given one night free as a birthday gift.
So who gave you the gift to stay there for the night?
My friend.
Which friend was it?
Philip.
Philip?
Yeah.
Yeah. And has he been to Australia?
I have no clue.
Okay. And how do you know Philip?
I've known him for quite a while. We met over the internet.
Okay. So where does Philip live?
Guyana.
Sorry?
Guyana?
Whereabouts is that? Which country?
Guyana, I don't know. I've never been to Guyana.
Diana, did you say?
Guyana.
Right.
I think it's out in South Africa or something like that.
Right.
I've never been there myself. I don't know.
Guyana is actually at the top of South America, and he clearly doesn't have any knowledge of Australia either. And it's highly suspicious as to why this mysterious person called Philip has paid for the man to stay in Melbourne.
No, the story doesn't add up. It's normal. If you're coming on a holiday, you normally buy your own ticket, you book your accommodation.
You have plans. He doesn't really have many plans. He's going to a hotel, he's going to bring a friend. It's just all adding up to something that he shouldn't be doing.
After the padlock is cut from his bag, Officer Lauren continues to question him about his claims that a man from Guyana called Philip has paid for him to stay in Melbourne as a birthday present.
Okay, so how long have you been friends with Philip for?
About a year.
About a year. So how did it come about that he paid for you to have a hotel here?
Just turned around and I've always, every time he's called me up on the internet, talked to him on the internet, he's asked me for advice.
Advice on what?
Well, I'm a truck driver.
Right.
So I've imported and exported stuff.
Right.
So
from where?
From Canada.
Right.
So we would export it worldwide.
Right.
Right. So that's one of the jobs I did. I exported products worldwide.
So what was he asking your advice for?
Shipping, whether it would be food or toys or whatever. What is the, what would be the best way to ship it around the house, and that's what I would do.
Right.
I would
Okay.
give that advice.
So how often do you talk to him?
Sometimes we talk on the internet. Sometimes we'll talk once a week. Sometimes we'll talk every day.
Right. Does he pay you for your giving him advice?
No.
No?
I don't charge him.
Right.
I don't believe in charging friends. Friends are friends.
So how did it come about that he paid for your hotel?
Well, I told him, I said, eventually I'd like to go to Australia. He said, well, your birthday's coming up. How would you like to go for your birthday since you did all this work for me?
His story seems completely implausible. And yet another strange fact is that the bag only contains brand new items that include pairs of female jeans.
Do you do work for anybody else?
Whoever calls me.
But just before Officer Lauren sends the now empty bag for an X-ray, she notices that it has a false bottom, and it seems to be way heavier than it should be.
Can I get someone to iron scan an X-ray, please?
A swab will help to indicate if there is an illicit substance concealed inside.
It's called an iron scan test. So basically it detects any particles of narcotics in the lining of the suitcase. So as you can see from the machine here, it's given us quite a strong reading for methamphetamine. Based on this test, it is highly likely that there's narcotics on the person or in the bag.
And that is more than enough to take this to the next level.
Okay, at this stage, I believe that you may be carrying a prohibited import today.
Okay.
So I need to issue you with caution and rights.
Okay.
Okay. So at this stage, you do not have to say or do anything, but anything you do say or do can be used in evidence.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Can you explain to me what I just said?
Basically, if whatever is in there, if it's against the law, I'm in trouble.
You may communicate or attempt to communicate with a friend or relative to inform that person of your whereabouts. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And do you wish to do so?
I'm not sure at this exact point because I don't know what's going on. I just know that I was bringing this.
And you may communicate or wish to communicate with a legal practitioner. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And do you wish to do so?
From the feeling, I think I might have to.
Okay, we'll organise that for you.
And it all comes down to the X-ray to see if there is something hidden inside.
So as you can see here on the picture, we do have a couple of inconsistencies, a couple of dark spots down there. If the suitcase was empty, you'd expect that to be similar colour to that. Kind of pale and white, but there are a few inconsistencies showing in the lining of the bag, so.
What I'm going to explain to you is that what we're going to do is we're going to be moving the examination into an interview room, and we'll be continuing and completing the examination under audio and video. Okay?
Officers are so confident that there is meth hidden in the bag, they decide to preserve the evidence and not drill or pull the bag apart to locate it. In the room, the man changes his mind to get a lawyer. So Customs and Border Protection can continue the process and hand him over to the Australian Federal Police, who will investigate the importation further and try to find out who his friend Philip is and track down anyone else involved within Australia.
Are you carrying any drugs in your body?
Nothing.
Ninguna. Tell him we don't believe him.
Él dice que no se acredita lo que está diciendo.
Officers have spotted Carlos Riviero Conde, who has just arrived from Buenos Aires. He doesn't speak English, so Customs Officer Clorinda has been called in to translate.
Antes que empiece a mirar la maleta, le tengo que hacer una pregunta. No se preocupe que preguntamos todo lo mismo a todas las personas. ¿Esto es su nombre?
Instincts can often pay off with big drug busts, or Carlos might just be an innocent tourist. While Clorinda questions Carlos,
¿Cuánto tiempo se queda?
Acá, sobre 15 días.
Customs Officer Michael runs an ion scan on swabs taken from his luggage.
That ion scan we just took off the guy's backpack. It's basically just come up for high cocaine readings.
A positive reading doesn't automatically mean a person is smuggling drugs. Cocaine is extremely sticky, and even the slightest contact will leave a residue that could last for months. But that simple test does mean that Customs is now much more interested in Carlos and his luggage.
Just put the bag through on various angles to try and see if there's any inconsistencies. What I'm going to do is some iron scans of the inside of the bag. I'm just not 100% happy with the shading along here.
There's still no proof that Carlos has done anything wrong. But now, with each passing test, this inspection is turning into something much more.
Can you run that one for me? It's the inside of the red bag.
Nosotros acá en Australia somos bien, ¿cómo se dice? Rigurosos. Como el problema de droga entrando acá, problema de personas venir para quedarse y así. Nosotros tenemos que...
I got positive iron scan readings for coke and cocaine again, but after drilling the bag, no powder did come out of the bag, so it makes it a bit hard for us to tell.
Can you x-ray this?
I'll get someone to x-ray.
And he's had that glued on. That does make me think, because normally that should just pull off. I've taken the screws out and I should be able to just slide that handle off, but it's not coming off at all.
So far, there's no trace of drugs in Carlos's bag.
So is that clean?
Yeah, I can't see anything down there at all.
But now it's his story that doesn't add up.
And I just basically spoke to him about where he's coming from. His itinerary was very interesting. It does match up with previous couriers and narcotic seizures. He didn't really know much about the area he was staying in the hotel. He claims to be a surfer and thinks that he's going to buy surfboards with information that he's been told in a shopping centre outside the airport. He has got a story planned, but it doesn't fit reality of what happens out here.
Officers use their extensive experience and instinct, and Carlos is starting to show some anxiety.
Pretty well sure that the guy's got it. Actually, 99% sure that he's got it. It's just a matter of where. So we'll go into a frisk. See how that goes. If it comes up negative, well, tell him to tell me to stop if he wants. I'll have to have a chat to him privately and assess him for an internal search. I'm pretty sure he's got it.
He's been cautioned and taken to an interview room.
His story is so-so. It's not real crash hot, but the iron scans have come up high for cocaine. I'm pretty well certain he has something, but basically I have to go and assess him for an internal.
An internal is an ultrasound exam performed at a hospital. Carlos may still be carrying drugs inside his body. Before it gets to that, though, Carlos has one more chance to convince Customs they've got the wrong man.
Okay. His travel plans were to go from Lima to Cusco and Machu Picchu, and then to Buenos Aires. If he had enough money, he was then going to organise to come to Sydney as it was to surf, as it was his dream as a child.
Where are you going to surf?
¿Dónde que usted va a hacer de surf?
En el mismo sitio donde en el Cronulla Beach, donde estoy en el hotel, ahí mismo en esa playa voy a hacer surf.
Said he's got the hotel he's staying at. He said in Sydney I know absolutely nothing. He goes, I have no ground knowledge of anything.
If Carlos is a legitimate tourist, he should know more about Australia. Strike one.
When was the last time that you used cocaine?
¿Cuándo la última vez que usted usó cocaína?
Ya hace en España.
¿Eh?
En España, ya hace como 5 o 6 meses.
Said in Spain about 5-6 months.
5 or 6 months ago.
5 o 6 meses atrás.
Sí.
The ion scan readings off his luggage suggests Carlos has been in contact with cocaine much more recently.
In Spain, in Vigo.
Strike two.
Okay, are you carrying any drugs in your body?
¿Usted tiene alguna droga con usted hoy día a su cuerpo?
No.
No.
No, ninguna.
Nothing.
Ninguna.
Tell him we don't believe him,
Él dice que no se acredita lo que está diciendo.
and we're detaining him for an internal search.
No, no tengo problema ninguno. Que
No, I have no problem.
Do you understand?
¿Usted entiende? ¿Entiende lo que dice?
You understand you got the right to say no?
¿Usted entiende que tiene el derecho de decir que no?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, they will do an ultrasound of your body. They can see everything inside.
Sí, pero yo no tengo ningún problema, pero yo lo que quiero saber es que después saber que me pagan a mí todo este tiempo y todo esto.
Says I don't have a problem with any of this, but who's going to pay me my time for all this time? He says I'll do anything you say because you're the ones, you are the bosses, but who's going to pay me for my lost time?
Carlos was referred to the Australian Federal Police. An ultrasound exam found that he had swallowed 86 small packages of cocaine, weighing approximately 430 grams. Carlos pled guilty and is now serving time in jail. Strike three.
Our officers noticed he was acting a little bit nervous when he arrived into the entry control point. He didn't proceed straight up to a customs officer with his passport. He sort of hung around the back of the hall. He appeared to be stalling.
After finally presenting himself to officers, it is established that he is a Malaysian citizen and has flown in from Dubai on a tourist visa. He claims to be here on a short 5-day holiday. However, officers suspect that he's not telling them the truth and decide to take him aside for further questioning.
We questioned him a little bit further about what his plans were, what he wanted to see, what he wanted to do. He could not really tell us much about Sydney, apart from he just wanted to walk around and have a look. So again, that's raised the officers' concerns about him being a genuine traveller to Australia.
During the interview, officers perform a baggage inspection, and this causes further concern about his reason for travel.
Basically, he's come with no clothing. He's got 4.5 kilos of chocolate and alcohol. It is quite unusual for a holidaymaker to bring such a large amount of chocolates, considering he doesn't know anybody in Australia, he's got no contacts here, so he's not bringing any gifts for any friends or family that he knows here.
What's more worrying is the foul odour wafting from the man's direction.
From the moment we spoke to him, we could smell that something wasn't right. It looks like he was a little bit frightened.
We've noted that there is a particular smell which is consistent with faecal matter.
They start by taking a closer look at the items in his possession.
Oh, they stink! Quite a strong smell.
And the nasty situation becomes increasingly serious for the passenger, as mixed in with his chocolate box are a number of large yellow pellets. Experienced officers recognise these pellets as similar to those used by drug couriers to carry narcotics internally.
It looks like the pellets that people usually swallow. Even though they're relatively large, people have been known to swallow 90, up to 90 sometimes. So now that we know what's in this, we'll close this one up, put it aside, we'll get the other ones out one by one.
Further inspection reveals that all 4 of the chocolate tins contain the same yellow pellets. And it doesn't end there, as officers now open a package that the passenger claims is duty-free alcohol.
There is a box of Johnny Walker full of pellets. It's possible that he had them all inside of him solely because of the smell. So that's why we thought that he soiled himself. It was what was in the boxes that we were smelling.
Officers confront the man with the discovery.
passenger still made no omissions as to what could be contained inside the pellet, and he's not offering us a lot of information at this stage.
With the passenger claiming to have no knowledge of the items found, officers will now carry out testing on the contents of the pallets. And if they find illicit substances, this man's life will take a serious turn for the worse.
The final colour will be pink and blue if it's cocaine.
Both of the technologies that we've used so far have come up positive for cocaine.
Officers know that this type of pellet is usually carried internally by drug smugglers, which may explain the vile smell coming from the chocolate boxes.
He's possibly gotten them out of his body sooner than he was intending to. They've definitely been inside of somebody. From the smell, we can tell that.
And officers now want to know whether all the pallets are accounted for.
We've got some concerns that he still may have some inside his body. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take him for a non-medical internal body scan.
He's not in a good place. He knows that he's in a lot of trouble, and now he's just going to have to find out exactly how much trouble he is in.
The test will not only determine if he is hiding more pellets, but could also save his life.
If one of those pellets were to burst, it could possibly kill him from a drug overdose.
We've sent the gentleman in for a non-medical body scan, which looks for anything that may be inside of his body.
It basically takes a photograph of inside or an X-ray of inside a person's abdomen.
We've received the results back and we had a negative result.
While clear of having any more pellets inside of him, the man is now handed over to the Australian Federal Police for further investigation into the large quantity of drugs he has brought into the country.
Today was a very successful day for Australian Border Force. We've impeded the importation of approximately 4.8 kilos of cocaine into Sydney Airport.
So on the X-ray, we've located 4 what looks to be glass vials within his luggage. We've decided to have a further look at these just to clarify what exactly these items are in his luggage. So is it just Bangkok, or you go to other places?
No, I went to Phuket. Yep. Phuket for a week, Pattaya for 3 weeks.
As the search gets underway, officers notice that the man is constantly yawning, which can either be a sign that it has been a long flight or that he is nervous about what officers may find.
It's nothing untoward, and you don't have any other movies or anything?
X-rated movies.
Yeah.
The bag is now empty, but there is no sign of the glass vials. The original X-ray is rechecked, and there is definitely something there that needs to be located.
Sound anything like that? They look like vials, don't they? It's not in that.
No.
There is a chance that the man's gone to considerable trouble to conceal the items, and he won't be free to cross the border until they are found.
Okay, so first examination through the bag, we haven't actually found the small vials. We've gone and had a further look on the X-ray to find which part of the bag they're in, and we'll do some further examinations in his actual clothing, see if it's actually concealed within any of his items.
Now, every piece of clothing will need to be thoroughly searched. His toiletry bag is rechecked, as is his briefcase, but there is still no success. The last place the vials could be hidden is in his bag of dirty washing that will be checked on X-ray. And it looks like this is what officers have been looking for. Officer Ben finds several rolled-up socks and a pair of underpants, and all of them feel as though they have something hidden inside.
So, what can you tell me about these?
Nandrolone.
Yeah.
Deco. I don't have access to it in Australia. I can get it from Thailand.
He claims the drug is for treating a recent injury.
I take it. Or obviously burnt my leg.
Yep.
It's not testosterone, it's the repair muscle.
In fact, nandrolone is a testosterone as well as an anabolic steroid used to build muscle, and he doesn't have a permit or prescription.
See, at this point in time, you have committed an offence. You've brought in a prohibited import across the border.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
But he will need to come up with a convincing explanation if he wants to avoid a criminal prosecution.
We've located him within his dirty washing, concealed within underwear and socks. We believe this may be a way of avoiding customs or extra scrutiny by putting him in with dirty washing.
And it's not the first time he's done it.
So you brought this stuff into Australia before?
Yep.
Inquiries will be made to see if this resulted in any charges. But for now, Officer Ben needs to read the man his rights, as he's committed a criminal offence and he will likely be facing prosecution.
All right, so before we go any further, you're just going to have to listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
You do not have to say or do anything.
Yeah.
But anything you do say or do, maybe use as evidence.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All righty.
His bags are repacked and he will be taken to an interview room for further questioning. But Officer Ben still has a concern.
So are you carrying anything else on your body at all today?
Check.
That's all right. So you've not got any other, that's it?
No.
Having already found 4 vials of steroids hidden inside this man's dirty laundry, Border Force officers want to conduct a frisk search to make sure that he doesn't have any more on his body.
So you're now detained for the purpose of research?
Yep.
All right, this officer here's going to run his hands over the outside of your clothing.
Oh, yeah, no, you're all right, mate. You're all right.
Have you got anything in your...
Sorry, mate. You're all right. Here we go. It's all right.
Nothing is found during the search.
No issues with the way search was performed? Okay, so you're no longer detained?
Yep.
Okay. So what we're doing is to set up a room.
He will now be taken to a private room and officers will conduct a record of interview to set the groundwork for a prosecution.
At the Sydney International Mail Centre, Border Force officers are scanning items in order to intercept these dangerous shipments and prevent them from reaching Australian communities.
Hey, Knowles.
Yeah.
Come have a look at this one. It says on here it's got 2 pieces of women's handbags and clothing, but there's something else in there that is not clothing and is not handbags.
It's not consistent with what the declaration says. It looks like there's some form of concealment inside there. Let's take it in and open it up, have a look.
Yep.
After the package is opened by Australia Post, officers Marie and Nolene take it to the deconstruction room for a closer inspection.
This looks like clothing. Traditional women's clothing from India. This is common with a typical concealment. They'll always try and put in articles that are typical from the country, source country it's coming from. So
yeah,
this is
just to distract you.
As well as the clothing, the parcel contains 2 heart-shaped boxes.
So this would be the women's purses that we on the declaration.
It's badly put together, looks really cheap, trying to, you know, distract us or make us think that that's what it is, but, you know,
if you
pick it up, it's a little bit heavier than what it should be. All right, now let's have a look in here. Let's double check that there's nothing, feels like nothing. Okay, cool. Some nice cheap jewellery, bling bling.
The purses get the all clear,
Okay.
but it's what's underneath them that is potentially of much greater concern.
Oh yeah, look at that. There's a piece of wood, really thin piece of wood there. Very suspicious. I would say that there's something underneath it.
Definitely.
What do you reckon?
Can we get under it to test?
Try. Oh yeah, bingo. What? Oh, look at that. Crystals. It's ripped open.
Oh wow.
It's looking like ice at this stage.
Quite a bit actually.
Look at that. big chunks in there.
And I'd say this one's going to be pretty identical. It's quite heavy in weight as well.
Yeah.
So I think we'd test it and confirm
Let's just have a quick
what it
look,
is.
actually, and see if there's anything here. Yeah, same thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, let's do some tests on it. Just grab a little bit, not too much, because it'll go crazy otherwise.
Presumptive testing will give a strong indication of what the substance may be.
So this should go a nice browny orange colour. If it's methamphetamine. Oh,
Yeah, that was
there you
quick.
go. Beautiful. It's looking like it's
Positive for
methamphetamine, yeah.
Or probably more commonly known as ice.
And officers now want to know just how much of the substance they are dealing with.
Almost half a kilo, but I think I'd take about 200 grams off for the packaging. So I'd say it's approximately 300 grams.
And I'd say
The
the
other
others
one
will
would be the same. I'm happy, I'm ecstatic, you know. It's more drugs off the street. Approximately 600 grams of ice, presumed ice, because it still needs to go to the AFP. They need to test it in their labs for it to be a 100%.
The parcel from India is only one of a number of suspected drug importations intercepted at the mail centre this week. And all of them will now be handed over to officers from the Australian Federal Police.
Morning, Frank, how are you? What have you got for us today?
All these ones here and a couple over there.
We attend the Sydney Gateway facility on a weekly basis. We collect all the drugs seized by Australian Border Force. International mail is the most common and frequent method of, for criminals to import drugs into Australia.
Next one here, Chris, 600 grams methamphetamine from India.
Okay, we'll get this one pushed through Rapid Lab this afternoon for further examination. Today we've seized more than 200 items containing drugs in the mail, and that's consistent with what we would typically expect to seize most weeks here. The heart-shaped package which we seized earlier here this morning was 600 grams of methamphetamine originating from India. That's now going to be subject to forensic analysis back at our office.
The parcels are now itemised by federal police officers, then transported to their Sydney headquarters for extensive testing to confirm the contents.
A Frisk search is a really simple search, just to make sure there's nothing concealed and anything like that.
Honestly, for the fact that my word is not good enough, let's take an hour or two, why not?
Well, it's going to be longer than an hour.
Officers have been questioning this man when he was found wandering in the customs area after arriving off a flight from Canada. However, after a bag search, the passenger is now refusing to be frisk searched, and that has officers concerned.
I went to metal detectors. I went to all this thing.
When you arrived?
No, from Canada all the way to here.
Well, they don't detect drugs. Yes. They don't detect drugs. They detect other things.
You X-ray people. You do everything.
Well, we don't X-ray people.
It's strictly for the principal.
They don't X-ray people.
I will wait for the justice for the principal.
Listen to me for a sec. They don't X-ray people in Canada. They X-ray their bags.
We go to a machine.
Oh, that's just a metal detector to see if you've got metal on you. Weapons or anything like that. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for drugs to see if you have drugs.
I don't have
Simple
drugs,
pat-down search to see if you have any. So at the moment we're detaining him for a 219 frisk search. He's refused that. So we're looking to upgrade it to an external search, which involves taking all his clothes off. So your only objection is the principle of it?
Yes, because this gentleman is doing his job very well.
Yeah.
He made me backtrack my trip from the last time I came down.
Sure.
I was even. You got my vacations in your hands. I don't.
Sorry?
You have my vacations in your hands. You say either no, you come in, or no, you don't come in. So that's it, man.
Well, there's no issue about you coming in. You've cleared immigration. You're here for a holiday.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm coming in to have my vacation.
So we just want to see if you've got drugs on you, and if you don't, you'll be right to go.
If the passenger continues to refuse the search, he could be in for a very long wait.
You want me to go and have a word with him and explain to him from our point of view?
See what he says, yeah.
If the passenger declines consent, a justice of the peace will be called in to arbitrate.
So that's what will happen at the next stage. Which, honestly, isn't it easy? Just
Follow the principle. If you understood my ground, I'm so sure of myself.
But you're making me
Our cameras have been filming the passenger all along, but suddenly he becomes interested in our equipment.
You don't have to have the cameras here if you don't want it.
Leave the camera, Adam. Leave the camera.
All right, so basically they're just doing a job. We're just customs. What's your job that you do in Canada?
I'm a server and I'm in a vegan restaurant and I do web content also and I'm a father also.
So what's the reason for the trip here? Holiday?
Yes, holiday, sir.
Okay, well you can understand. You serve in a restaurant, you just do that for a job. These guys are just doing the same thing as I am. A Frisk search is a really simple search just to make sure there's nothing concealed and anything like that. But and honestly, it's a very simple thing. It's done a lot of times in Australia. It gets complicated now if we still want to go ahead and try and get it done because we've got to go through our legal process.
Honestly, for the fact that my word is not good enough, let's take an hour or two. Why not?
Well, it's going to be longer than an hour.
Now a justice of the peace will determine if he's just an innocent tourist making a personal statement, or is he refusing the search because he has something to hide.
His decision to refuse Frisk escalates it. Search, and we've put in the wheels in motion to go to the next step. If he chooses to agree to the Frisk search, I'll reassess and we'll take it from there. We've got grounds to detain you, as we do with a lot of people. It would be a lot easier for you and for us. I'm not pushing pressure on you, but honestly, you know,
For once, I'm going to stand my ground because I was cooperative to Mr. here. I was cooperative. I was. I told him everything about my life. I told him about my trips. He went through my things. He went extensively through my things. What else is there? What else is there?
Okay. The only other thing is, quick.
There could be traces on my shoes.
Yeah, which is actually, at this stage, there's no removal of clothing. But if we go to the next stage, if you refuse
I'm so sure of myself, sir, that...
So at the moment he's refusing the Frisk search. If we take him to a room, he's going to refuse an external search because it's a high level of search. So at the moment we're just trying to get a JP to come and speak to him. The Justice of the Peace would come out and we've give the Justice reasons of why he should be Frisk searched or body searched. And he would make a decision on whether he can go or whether he's held here and strip searched.
If you did a quick Frisk search in the public, in a private room, it's done.
It's just because I'm...
I'll let the officer...
He actually did his job well. He offered me to say no. I say no. Just for that. If I was forced to, man, I'll go, man.
Yeah. Well, this is the option. This will escalate to a position where we'll put a strong case to a JP, an independent person, to do it. Basically, once people refuse a search, then we put our instruments in place if we feel that we need to search.
I understand, but I'm sure of myself.
You sure? So you're standing on principle rather than any other reason?
Yes, my heart, myself. I'm true to myself at least.
All right, so if you change your mind, just contact me and we can get a quick pat-down search done.
Thank you, sir.
Quickly as possible, but if you want to pursue this on a principle...
I've been thinking about this for a long time.
On a principle?
If I get offered the choice and I'm being truthful...
Okay. Well,
never happened to me
before. We're going to pursue our rights as well, as you can understand. I'll try to appeal to you, but all right, that's your grounds. You're making a stand on it.
At this stage, we're going to upgrade the search. We don't believe his story. He says he refuses the Frisk on principle alone. We told him that we think he's carrying narcotics on him, on his body somewhere, and we're upgrading the search to a higher search at the moment.
The passenger is led away to an interview room as officers wait for a Justice of the Peace to arrive. Now the dog unit has been contacted and a drug swab has been taken from the passenger's bag.
Yeah, we got a positive reading for cocaine. So the passenger's in the room there. He's suddenly decided that he wants to have the Frisk search done. I don't know what's prompted him to get to that stage, except it's taken a while, and it's going to take a while longer for that JP to get here. So I think he's realised the game's up now. And we've just done a Frisk search on him, and there's been a package located in his groin area. So we'll go back in now and see if we can find out what the package is. He pulled it out. straight from under the undies. Way out.
I've notified the Australian Federal Police. They will be attending shortly. If they wish, we deconstruct the package to do a field test or a nick test, which will give us a more conclusive evidence.
But first, the dog is taken into the interview room to see if he reacts to the package.
When you see a dog's running out with a towel in their mouth, that's positive. Yeah, okay. Big dog!
So that's the package that he had in his groin. We're just going to gimlet a bit of the powder out of it, assuming it's powder inside, and test it in a field narcotic test to see what's inside.
Yeah, it's a white powder, as you can see. So just be careful getting it out, because you don't want to flick it. This could be potentially very toxic, so you don't want to inhale any of it.
A small sample is placed in the narco pouch and the chemicals will react if the substance is a narcotic.
So we've just done a presumptive test on the package and it's come up positive for cocaine. We took a bit of powder out, put it in the test kit and got a good reading. And so we'll bring the package back into the room and the Federal Police will arrest him and take him away.
The Australian Federal Police charged the man for importing almost 1 kilo of cocaine with a street value of approximately $430,000.